Hi everybody, welcome to today's video. And the main intention of me doing this particular video is because we've been receiving a lot of messages on YouTube and Instagram where people ask the question of, Gayatri, I really want to just be the most authentic version of myself. But still at the back of my head there is this constant fear that what will people think about me? If I do this, will people judge me? If I do this, will people think I'm not a great person, I'm not an intellectual person? So the intention for me of doing this video is to break it down as to number one, why we have that fear of other people judging us, and second, why majority of our life just goes away in trying to please other people while we can actually use the same energy to build the dream life that you're constantly longing for in your life. So first of all, let's understand the psychology of human beings. Now imagine you are a person, because I mean this used to be me a few years back. So imagine you are a person who's very conscious about your body and you're very conscious about your weight. And you got married, and in 2 to 3 years of marriage, you've put on some 15-20 kilos of weight. Okay? Because you're conscious about your body. And the consciousness moves to the next layer and you start judging yourself for the excess weight that you have. You tell yourself, I look much older than my age right now. I am not good enough. I don't want to wear these clothes. I don't look good. You have all of these judgments against you, which means you are judging yourself about the external weight that you've put on in your life. Now, let's say when you're walking out and you go meet a bunch of new friends after a really long time, and there are so many married couples out there. The first thing that you would notice is how fit the other person is, or how much weight the other person has put on, or if the other person has become obese. The reason why your mind naturally goes into checking these parameters about some person is because you judge yourself for the same parameters. So the fear of judgment, the root cause of the fear of judgment that we have in our life is because we have been constantly judging ourselves on the same parameters. So if I don't judge myself for XYZ, let's say me, Gayathri, as a human being, I don't like certain aspects about myself and I'm constantly judging those aspects about myself. Let's say I don't like the accent that I'm speaking in. Okay? I don't like the way I'm speaking, the way I'm pronouncing. When I meet a bunch of people, in my mind, I'm constantly thinking and I'm constantly trying to repeat on the inside, how am I supposed to speak? What will this person think about me? Will this person like my accent or not? Will this person make fun of my accent or not? Will they think I'm not good enough? All these thoughts start to run in your mind, and guess what is going to happen? Either you stay quiet throughout the conversation and the other person does not even know how amazing you are, or two, you put that extra effort to try to be somebody else who you are not. Think about all those people who have a fake accent when they talk to somebody. Now, the judgment even we have against them comes from a space where we keep judging ourselves for that. And the fear of judgment that you carry with yourself comes from a space where you have been judging yourself for the same parameters around that. Imagine you have a very native accent. Let's say I am from South India, and let's say I have a very strong native South Indian accent when I speak English. And I don't really care about that. So when I'm going to talk to you, I can use the wrong words, I can use the wrong grammar, I can pronounce really wrong, and my accent can be really strong in South. I wouldn't bother about that. Why? Because I don't think that is a flaw inside of me. So everything that you're scared of being judged for is something that you think is a flaw inside of you. There are so many people who come to me and say, Gayathri, I'm in my late 30s. I've not gotten married. I'm so scared to go out because people are going to ask me certain things. The problem is not with people asking you why you're still not married when you're late 30s. The problem is because you think something is wrong with you that you're not married in your late 30s, and you project that fear onto others. So how do we? First of all, why is this important? For us to not bother about what other people have to think about us. So now if I'm going to tell you, hey, you should not bother about what other people are going to tell about you, and you should always learn how to draw boundaries. The next day you would go, you'd set boundaries for yourself, and you would tell yourself, whatever anybody says, I'm not going to bother about that. So now whatever you say is just verbal. You're still getting affected by it. The goal is to not get affected by it. How do I not get affected by other people's opinions about me? By accepting myself for who I am truly. Do I have flaws? 100%. Am I amazing in so many aspects of my life? 100%. Am I willing to do the work that it takes for me to go to the next level? 100%. Just like any other human being, I am just as human. I am just as flawed. And the more acceptance that you have about yourself, the less you're going to bother about what other people are going to think about you. The more you love yourself for who you are, you're not going to worry if somebody else is going to love you or not love you, because you feel amazing on the inside. The reason why this is very crucial in the process of manifestation is, imagine this. We can try to manipulate people with the way we look, with the way we speak, with the way we try to pretend to be with somebody else. But the universe understands energy. Think about it. Think about hanging out with somebody who was constantly seeking for that kind of an approval from you, which means they were not being themselves truly. They pretended to be somebody else around you. That energy comes off as a very desperate energy. Whenever that energy comes off as a very desperate energy, instead of giving approval to them, you actually take your energy back and move away from them, and you have conversations with your friends saying, hey, I don't like hanging out with this person. It feels too overwhelming. Their energy feels so overwhelming. Why? Because subconsciously, you and I can read the energy of people. Think about somebody, you walk into a party and there is this one person who does not care about anybody. When I say does not care, not in the negative way. They don't really care about anybody else's opinions. They're so happy and content with the way they are. Probably they've gone bald, probably they have a different skin color, probably they have freckles. They don't really care about it. They come and they are being the most authentic version of themselves. You know what happens? You're extremely inspired to be the most authentic version of you, because they show you what is possible for you. And in the process of manifestation, it's extremely important for you to be authentic. Why? Let's say the energy of your frequency is 1000 hertz. I'm giving you an example. Let's say that is the most maximum and the premium and the more abundant energy that is, okay, 1000 hertz. Now, when that frequency comes out, the frequency of who I naturally am, I will let that frequency out only when I like that frequency. When I like myself for who I am, I'm going to be more of myself. When I don't like myself for who I am, I'm going to pretend to be like somebody else so that you like me for the version of who I'm portraying myself to be, so that I am going to feel good on the inside. How many of us have been in that loop for the majority of our life, and it is so burdening, right? So now, every time my energy is 1000 hertz, every time I put layers on top of it, okay? I put layers of being a people pleaser. I put layers of being a very polite person. I put layers of trying to pretend to be like somebody else. So now this 1000 hertz has become 300 hertz. It is not even your true energy. So now you're vibrating at a lower frequency of 300 hertz, and everything that vibrates similar frequency of 300 hertz is going to come into your life. So you're literally blocking your own abundance, your own love, and everything that you want for yourself in this life by being somebody else. Because you have a unique code, you have a unique frequency, which is your authenticity. So now, rather than telling yourself, tomorrow onwards, I'm going to make up my mind so that I don't care about what other people have to say about me, that is an extreme way of looking at it. I want you to ask yourself first, when I hang out with certain people in my life, around what kind of people do I try to pretend? Around what kind of people do I try to become somebody else? Around what kind of people do I feel like I walk on eggshells or I have to say the right things? Those are the people that you've unconsciously put on a pedestal. Every time you put somebody on a pedestal, you're looking up to them, they're looking down on you. So there is an energy mismatch. So that you're going to use your external reality as a mechanism for you to go within and ask yourself, why do I feel they are better than me in so many ways? Why do I feel? And also, the biggest problem that most people have in life is, if I don't hang out with a bunch of people, even if I don't like them, what if I miss out on opportunities? There's a lot of FOMO there. You know how you can get rid of this FOMO? By telling yourself, if the universe wants to give me an opportunity, if the universe wants to give me ideas, if the universe wants to show me something that the universe wants to show me, it'll happen through anybody or through any means. It's not just through these people. So every time you fixate on, I am going to be attached with a specific bunch of people because I believe all of the solutions that I want in my life is only going to come from this side, and you're getting extremely fixated there. You're not being the most authentic version of yourself. When you start believing that what is meant for you will find its way to you, you don't have to be fixated on a specific path, specific person, or a specific direction. The universe, when you reduce your resistance, when you say, I'm only going to look here and all my ideas should come from here, all the million ideas are waiting here saying, when is this person going to learn the lesson? Now let's say you bring that guard down and you say, I'm open for the opportunities, I'm open for the lessons, I'm open for the ideas. Then the universe will find the most weirdest ways to send it to you. So the goal is, number one, to identify in what aspects of your life you're being extremely inauthentic with yourself. And second, tell yourself, yes, I am seeking validation here. Yes, I feel left out here. I'm asking for approval here in the most subtle ways. The more you say this to yourself, there's so much freedom. Oh, now you're not denying that you're doing something. Now that you've accepted that you're doing something, then the next question that you'll ask yourself is, why have I been doing this again and again in my life? What is that I am not giving myself that I'm expecting this person to give me? Why do I feel I'm not good enough? Why do I feel I'm broken? Why do I feel I need a lot of work to be done on the inside? When you slowly start introspecting all these areas of your life and start working on this, you'll be so surprised to see that in no time, people will exist in your life, but you will never be bothered about what their opinion about you is going to be, because your opinion about you is going to be somewhere here. And that is the ultimate goal for all of us.